Hello my friends, welcome to Loom Knit Lab. In today's episode, I am going to demonstrate how to do the lace rows for the cat's paw headband. Specifically, I am going to be focusing on the 3 rows of the breakdown for the lace stitch pattern. Here I have my pattern all printed out, and I am going to be doing this row right here, row number 1 of the chart, row number 3 of the chart, and row number 5 of the chart. To complete your headband, you simply repeat the whole chart, the whole 6 rows, over and over until your headband is the desired length. Let's go ahead and get started. Items that you will need: a knitting loom. I will be demonstrating with the all-in-one knitting loom, a knitting tool, and some yarn. I am going to be using worsted weight yarn. Any worsted weight yarn basically works. If you're just making a sample, do not worry about the yarn that you're using, as long as it's nice and easy to work with, it will work out. Okay, let's get started. 11 stitches. So make a slip knot. There we go. Place it on one of the pegs. Any peg will do. And then simply cast on 11 stitches. I like to cast on from the last peg over to the first peg, and for demonstration purposes I'm just gonna use the yarn over cast on. So simply E-wrap the peg twice. Then last one. Perfect. There we go. I have the cast on. I'm gonna pull that tail to the back of the knitting loom. There we go. And I am ready to begin row number 1. Row number 1 I'm gonna purl, and then row number 2 knit, number 3 purl, number 4 knit. So go ahead and purl row number 1. I'm gonna bring the working yarn to the front of peg 1. I'm going to purl. If you are familiar with purling and knitting, go ahead and fast forward to row number 5, where I start demonstrating the breakdown. So right now we are going to do the first row of the lace portion. Okay, so let's get started with that. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna number the pegs 1 through 11 from right to left. Okay, so first we're gonna remove the stitch from the peg number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna remove it, hold it. Now you're gonna move the stitch from peg 5 to peg 4. So you're gonna move this one right here to this peg. So to do that, I'm just gonna move this one over here temporarily. I'm gonna move 5, grab it from 5 to 4, and I'm gonna grab the one that I put on the top peg. I was holding it there temporarily. Now we're gonna place that one back on peg 4, and now we end up with an empty peg on peg number 5. Now you're going to remove the loop from peg 8, and you're gonna hold it. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8. You're gonna hold it. Now you're gonna move the loop from peg 7 over to peg 8. So this is the stitch from peg 7. We're gonna move it over here. You can hold on to that stitch, or you can place it on that other peg just to hold it. Whichever way you want to do it, go ahead, as long as you hold it and don't let go of it. So we're gonna move this one over here. Perfect. And now place the one that you're holding back onto peg 8. Perfect. Place it. Good job. And now you have peg 5 and 7 empty. Now we're gonna work the row as follows. You are going to purl peg 1 and peg 2. So take the working yarn in front of peg 1, purl it, peg 2, purl it, great, peg 3, you are going to knit it, peg 4 has 2 loops on it. You are going to treat both loops as one, and you're gonna do a knit 2 together, meaning knitting those 2 stitches together. So hook it over, pop the stitches off, place the new loop on the peg, and then on peg 5 you're gonna create the yarn over. I like to E-wrap it, so I'm gonna E-wrap, and then I'm gonna knit peg 6, peg 7 is an E-wrap, a yarn over, so E-wrap it. Peg 8 is a slip slip knit, which means it's a decrease of 2 stitches down to 1. Treat those 2 loops as one. Hook it over, pop the loops off, place a new stitch on. You are going to knit peg 9, perfect, and now you are going to purl peg 10 and 11. Excellent, there we have it. That's the first row of the lace stitch pattern. I don't know what I did with my page. There it is. That's that first row right there. Now we're gonna do the second row, and all we need to do for that one is just knit across. So take your working yarn and knit all the pegs down to peg number 1. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see you on the following lace row. I just finished knitting the row number 6. Now I am ready for row number 7, which is our next lace row, and our chart looks like this. I went ahead and added the rows on the sides that I am knitting right now, so this will be row number 7 or row number 3 of the chart. And over here we have 2 purls, we have a knit 2 together, a yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, slip slip knit, and purl 2. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to move the stitches so that I am ready to knit the row, to work the row. So the first thing is to remove the loop from peg 3 and hold it. So we have 1, 2, 3. We're removing loop from peg 3. And now we're gonna move the loop from peg 4 and place it on the empty peg 3. So I'm gonna let that knitting tool in the back. This is another way that I like to move the stitches. So now I'm gonna put this one on the emptied peg 3. Perfect. Now I am going to place the loop back that I am holding temporarily back on peg 3, so that peg 3 ends up with 2 stitches. There we go. So we have peg 3 with 2 stitches, peg 4 is empty, And now we're going to remove the loop from peg 9 and hold it. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna hold it. Now we're gonna move the loop from peg 8 and place it on peg 9. So from peg 8 over to peg 9. You can hold it right there. Move this one over. Stretch it up. Perfect. And now we need to place this loop that we're holding temporarily back onto peg 9. Now we have 2 empty pegs. We have 4 and 8. Now we're gonna work the row. First thing you're gonna do is purl the first 2 stitches. There we go. Peg 3 has 2 loops on it. We are going to knit them together, and right here we're creating our knit 2 together. Doing both loops as one. Place a new one. On peg 4 we have our yarn over, so simply E-wrap the peg. Then you're going to knit peg 5, 6, and peg 7. Go ahead. Peg 8 calls for a yarn over, so simply E-wrap it. Peg 9 is a slip slip knit, so we're gonna treat those 2 loops as one. Knitting the peg. The last 2, peg 10 is a purl, peg 11 is a purl. Our next row calls to knit, so you're simply going to knit from peg 11 back to peg 1. Let's go ahead and get us to that point in our chart. Let me show it to you. Will be this row right here. We'll be knitting from here over this way. Let's get us to that point. I just finished doing the knit row number 8. Now I am ready for the last row of the lace, which is row number 5 on our chart, row number 9 at the beginning of the pattern, of the headband pattern. So in this one we have 2 purls, 2 knits, a yarn over, a central decrease, a yarn over, 2 knits, and 2 purls. Let's go ahead and do this part. That central double decrease, it is a new one, and we don't do it very often, as we do the knit 2 together. So let's go step by step on this one. We are going to move loop from peg 5 over to peg 6. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over to peg 6. Perfect. Now we're gonna move the stitch from peg 7 over to peg 6, stretching it over. Perfect. Now as you can see, you have 1 peg right in the middle with 3 stitches, an empty peg to the right and an empty peg to the left. Now we're gonna work the row as follows. You're gonna purl peg 1 and peg 2, then we're gonna knit pegs 3 and 4, pegs 3 and 4, we're gonna do a yarn over on peg 5, simply E-wrap, and then we're gonna knit peg 3, treating peg 6, treating all 3 loops on that peg as one loop. So insert your knitting tool, catching all 3 strands, hooking that working yarn. Perfect. You got it right there. Hold it. This one may be a little tricky to pop them off. All 3. So take them off the peg. There we go. Placing that loop on the peg. The next peg is an empty peg, peg 7. That's where our yarn over goes. So E-wrap the peg, and then you knit peg the next 2 pegs, 8 and 9. And then we're gonna purl peg 10 and peg 11. Perfect. Now right here we just finished our lace row right here, lace row number 5. Now we're ready for the next row, which is a knit. So we're simply going to knit from the last peg over to peg 1. Go ahead and do that part. Over here I have finished the row, knitting the row. I am ready again to begin my chart all the way from the bottom. We already did all those 3 lace rows, and that's what I demonstrated. So simply keep repeating these 6 rows until your headband is the length that you want. I hope you have enjoyed this small tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Again, just go back to the beginning of the video to where I start demonstrating the lace rows, and then you should be able to continue knitting the same rows over and over and over until your headband is the desired length. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.